Alright, you fuckers, welcome to Destry's League. This video is going to be the one thing that I can say I went over the scoring with you, so I don't want to listen to any of your bitching about scoring. So let's start with passing. 1 point for every 25 yards. We're using fractional scoring, so each yard is 0.04. Each pass completed is 0.1. Each pass incompleted is negative 0.1. So if your quarterback goes 20 for 30, meaning he completed 20 passes and didn't complete 10, your quarterback will get 2 points for the completed passes, 1 point negative for the incompleted, so you'll end up with 1 gross point. Touchdowns are worth 4 points for passing. Interceptions are negative 2. 2-point passing conversions are 2. A 300 to 399 yard passing game is 2 points, and a 400 yard passing game is 4 points. All right, rushing, you get a tenth of a point for every yard, 1 point for every 10. Rushing touchdown is 6. If it's a 40-yard rushing touchdown, it's 1 extra point. 50 yards, 2 extra points. 2 points is 2 points. If he has 100 to 199 yards rushing in a game, it's a 1-point bonus. A 200-yard rushing game is a 2-point bonus. In receiving, a little different this year than last year. Receiving yards are the same. You get 0.1 for every yard. So for every 10 yards, that's 1 full point. Each reception is a full point. So if your tight end or your receiver catches 8 balls for 20 yards, you're going to get the yards of 20. That's 2 points. The 8 receptions, that's 8 points. If there's a touchdown, that's 6. So each reception, 1 point. Touchdown, 6. 40-yard, 1 point bonus. 50-yard, 2 point. 2 points, 2 points. 100-yard game, just like in rushing, is 1. A receiving game, and a 200-yard receiving game is 2. Some miscellaneous stuff. You do get points for kickoff return yards, punt return yards. Obviously, the kickoff and punt return touchdowns, total fumbles lost, interception returns, fumble returns, those are all 6 points. The total fumbles lost is a negative 2. Kicking, there's also positive and negatives here. Each point after is 1. If they miss a point after because they suck, and it happens, 3% of the time, you lose half a point. For a field goal made, 0 to 39 is 3 points, 40 to 49 is 4, 50 plus is 5. If you miss a 0 to 39, you lose 3. Miss a 40 to 49, you lose 2. Miss a 50, you lose 1. On your team defense, special teams, there's going to be kickoff return yards again. Remember the miscellaneous, that was for the player. So if you have a wide receiver that also returns punts or kicks, he does get points for those kickoff yards, as well as does your special teams. Sacks are 1 point. Fumble returns for touchdowns, punt return for touchdowns, kickoff returns, interception returns, blocked punt or field goal, all returned for touchdowns, all 6 points. Blocked punt, 2 points. Interception, 2 points. Fumbled recovered, 2 points. If you force a fumble, 1 point. Even if the team recovers the ball, it doesn't count as a negative on losing the fumble. Only the fumble forced gets you a point for your defense. If you safeties, 2 points. For defense, you are 7 points for points allowed, 6 for 1 to 6, 4 for 7 to 13, 2 for 14 to 17, 1 for 18 to 21, 28 to 34, you lose a point, 35 to 45, you lose 3 points. If your team defense gives up 46 plus points, you pick the piss poor defense, and you're getting penalized by losing 5 points. Same goes with yards, total yards allowed. 100 is 7, up to 199 is 5, 299 3, 399 negative 1, 449 negative 3, 499 negative 5, 549 negative 6, 550 plus negative 7. So if your damn defense that you tried to pick up at the last minute because you're a smartass gives up 46 points and 550 yards, you probably shouldn't have played a defense that week because you're going to lose at least 12 points right off the bat. So those are the scoring. I don't want to listen to anybody bitch, oh, I drafted that player not knowing. Well, too fucking bad. You heard the video. Next, we got divisions. This time we kind of put the divisions so it wasn't East versus West. So you've got, a mix of each there as well. We're observing the undroppable players list. Lineup changes, they lock individually at the scheduled game time now that the NFL is doing all that stupid Thursday shit. Acquisitions are the waiver system. There's no limit to the number of players you can acquire during the season. The waiver period is only 1 day and it resets each week in inverse order of standings. So you teams that suck, yes, you get the better players. Trade limit, you can trade as many times as you want. Trade deadline happens on Wednesday, November 27th. I pushed it as far as we could. Trade review period is only 1 day, and it takes 6 of you cranky bastards to veto a trade. Let's see, we're going to run a 13-week season. Playoffs start in week 14 if there was a tie, and that's going to be really rare with fractional scoring. But then it's the most bench points because you should kind of get rewarded for being a jackass and having a bunch of points on your bench. During the regular season, there are no home field advantage points. That does change in the playoffs. So the playoff schedule, there's going to be 6 teams, 3 rounds, 2 byes. The weeks per playoff is only 1. It's going to be head-to-head record is going to be the tiebreaker. And the home team, which is always the team with the better record, will receive plus 3 points. So one reason why. Finally, the draft. The draft is a typical snake draft like we've had every year. The draft is set for Saturday, August 31st at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So figure out where your time zones are. If you don't know how to figure that out, type in Google and figure out what fucking time you need to show up at the draft. Don't be late, jackasses. You're only getting 90 seconds to pick, so kind of do some research. Yes, it's going to make the draft go a little faster, and that's what we're going to do. The draft order has been set. You can all see that. And yes, you can draft, pick, trade. So feel free to run through that. All of these settings are here. Roster-wise, I've set rosters at 15, 9 starters, 6 bench, 1 injured reserve player. I know we've got a bunch of Cowboy fans, so I figure they're going to need some IR guys because their players get hurt all season long. You can go through, you can look at all of the settings. If you have anything at all, feel free to call me, destry71gmail.com. You can email me, and I'll respond. Use the message boards to give each other shit. Let's have fun, and make sure everybody shows up for the draft.